You like that new intro? You're watching Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Tyler Smith, and the trade rumors are heating up. They will continue to heat up as we get closer and closer to the 2026 NBA trade deadline. Happy New Year, Dub Nation. And on today's video, we're going to discuss Michael Porter Jr. We've been hearing some rumblings about his potential landing in Golden State here as they're looking to make a big swing to compete for a championship. Is he the top target for your Golden State Warriors? We'll break it all down. His fit on this team, a potential trade, and more in just a moment. But first, we need to talk about Draymond Green. The Warriors, luckily, got a win against the Utah Jazz on Saturday night. But it was not with the efforts of Draymond Green. No, as a matter of fact, he got ejected in the middle of this game. And something that has become commonplace over the last few weeks. All these things have happened in the last 2 weeks for Draymond Green. And we'll get to his play on the floor in a second, but I mean, the antics are piling up to a level that I don't think that we've ever even seen before from Draymond. On December 20th, ejected from the Phoenix Suns game. Just the following game after that, he leaves. He quits in the middle of the game against the Orlando Magic. Leaves the huddle. Steve Kerr banishes him to the locker room, and then he ends up coming back, but Kerr obviously isn't going to take any of that nonsense, so he doesn't play him the rest of the game. By the way, the Warriors won both of those games without Draymond Green in the lineup. Then he rests against OKC along with Steph and Jimmy Butler, as he normally does when those two guys, or just Steph, is out of the lineup. You'll see Curry out with an ankle, then you'll see Draymond Green, Steph Curry's ankle, in parentheses, because he just doesn't show up to the damn ball game. And then he gets ejected the next game that he's available for. So he didn't play in this one, and the next time he gets to see the court, he gets thrown out again. It's unacceptable. And the Warriors, they were losing when Draymond Green was on the floor in that game. They ended up really turning things around and winning it in spite of him not being on the floor out there. More about this game specifically, because this is just disgusting, quite frankly. The Warriors, this is about midway through the game before Draymond got ejected. The Warriors with Steph and Draymond on the floor. Is this guy committing active terrorism against his team? 88.9 offensive rating. That would rank historically bad in the last 15 years of the NBA, let alone this year. 144.4 defensive rating. That would be the worst of all time by like 20. And then a 48% true shooting percentage for the opponent. Or sorry, for the Warriors in that case. With Steph on the floor and Draymond off the floor, a blistering 179.4 offensive rating. So just double the output that the offense is putting on, quite literally. 114.7 defensive rating. That's pretty good in a small sample size. And they shot 81% true shooting. It's getting indefensible with Draymond Green, to be quite frank. And this isn't something that is lightning in a bottle. This isn't a one-off instance of him being actively bad, not contributing to winning for this roster. Shout out to Nate Duncan, who put this together. Since December 20th, Draymond Green has gotten now tossed from 2 games and refused to enter another. He's also missed 4 games just for the fun of it and had negative plus-minus in all but 2 games he has played since December started, and was a minus 15 against the Jazz on Saturday. It's brutal, man. Warriors they turned it around after Draymond got ejected. When this guy is off the floor, this is like a bizarro world for me, because this is something I could have never envisioned. The Warriors being exponentially better when Draymond is off the floor. They were a plus 19 after he got ejected on Saturday. He's becoming a detriment to the team. You could see it. It's not just the numbers. It's not just the nerd stats. You could see it. When Steph is out there leading a lineup full of reserve bench players, things go pretty well. When Jimmy's out there doing the same thing, you've seen Golden State just a few days ago come back from 15 down in the first quarter when it was Jimmy and like 4 guys at the end of the bench. But when Draymond is sharing the floor with all those guys, things are quite different. Jimmy Butler doesn't seem to think, though, that this is the issue. He said after that game against the Jazz, "Hell nah, that ain't the formula," with Draymond being off the floor. No, 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 no. We need 23 out there. Do we? I mean, it's kind of unfortunate because there's really no other way around it. They're going to have him out there on the floor for long stretches, especially, too, because who are you going to trade him to? Of course, I would send him away. If the Warriors are able to get some player in the $30 million per year range, and it took Draymond Green getting traded out to make that deal possible, I would do it. But who would ever in their right mind trade for Draymond Green in the big 2026? Makes no sense. And it's just unfortunate that the Warriors have to deal with this guy anchoring down the success elsewhere on this roster that I think we should be recognizing more and more. If you guys are frustrated with Draymond Green lately, I had to get on my soapbox for a little bit. I had to rant to you guys because it's It's in plain sight now. We can't avoid it. Draymond Green is actively contributing to this team performing badly. If you're frustrated about it and his on the court and off the court antics, hit the like button right now. Coming up next, yes, this is the video that we're bringing here today. We're going to talk more in depth about Michael Porter Jr. being a top trade target for the Golden State Warriors. That's what you came here for, but we had to talk about Draymond first. This in a moment. First, though, I got to tell you guys about our sponsor on today's show, as this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. Whether you're starting a new routine or making player picks for the first time, trying something new can be hard. But in life and on Prize Picks, it always feels good to be right. With high-pressure playoff matchups every weekend and elite hoops action almost every night, the action never stops. And Prize Picks lets you take control with the best daily fantasy sports app in the game. All you guys got to do is pick 2 to 6 players and just pick more or less on their projected stats. You can win up to 2,000 times your money watching your Golden State Warriors with one single lineup. There's a new feature as well on Prize Picks called Early Payouts. If your player or your lineup gets off to a hot start, you now have the option to cash out those winnings before the game even finishes. It takes less than 60 seconds to create a lineup. So fun to do it. I've been playing Prize Picks longer than they've even been a sponsor here at Chat Sports, and it's slowly becoming a community event as well. With the new social feeds feature, you can share Prize Picks with your friends and copy lineups from winners with a single click. Copy lineups that you like or use them as inspiration for your own picks. You can even follow Prize Picks partners like us and tail or fade our picks with just one click. Whether you tail or fade us, just do it at Prize Picks. Download the app today and use the code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. All right. So we're talking Michael Porter Jr., and it's not just out of the blue. We're not just making these trade rumors up. This is concrete, legitimate stuff. Jake Fischer of the Stein Line, he calls himself the People's Insider. He's had a bunch of really solid scoops. He says that Golden State, which helped inspire this whole notebook, he dropped a whole massive article on his Substack about Michael Porter Jr. potentially being moved at the deadline. He says Golden State inspired it. Has indeed had some internal discussions about whether to pursue Michael Porter Jr. Look, man, Giannis isn't on the table. LeBron's not getting traded to Golden State. So there's not going to be this bona fide, multiple-time All-NBA guy that Golden State's going to make a big swing for this trade deadline season. It's not going to happen. They did it last year with Jimmy Butler. They gave him $120 million over the following 2 years. So there's not going to be that guy. And there really isn't that guy, according to the trade scuttlebutt going around the league. It's more along the lines of guys around Michael Porter Jr.'s level. That in-between, all-star and role player type of guy. And honestly, he is an all-star this season, man. He has taken a massive, massive leap with the Brooklyn Nets. Look, this is a guy who did start on a championship-winning team with the Denver Nuggets a couple years ago. But he was the third option over there and was never really given the spotlight when you got Jokic playing as well as he does and Jamal Murray playing as well as he does, especially in the biggest moments in the postseason. But Michael Porter Jr., man, he took this opportunity being shipped away from Denver. They thought they upgraded with Cam Johnson. He got sent off to the Brooklyn Nets, and he's taken the opportunity and absolutely ran with it, folks. I mean, he's gone from a 17, 18-point per game guy to a 26-point per game demon. Like this guy, when he played against Golden State last week, I thought that the Warriors were legitimately going to lose to the Brooklyn Nets, the team that had won 7 out of the last 10, mainly on the back of Michael Porter Jr. dropping 30-point game after 30-point game. It has been insane what this guy's been able to do, and I think he would be an unbelievable fit with this Warriors team. He's a guy who thrives in motion, playing off the ball and coming off-ball screens and just spotting up and shooting these high-arcing three-point shots. He's a very, very talented offensive player, a guy who can put the ball on the deck as well and score, underrated in that regard, in my opinion. And the Warriors just lack what he brings to the floor. Length and just scoring ability from all three levels. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, Michael Porter Jr. makes a lot of money. And he does. This is a pretty substantial contract. $38 million this year, $41 million next year. You'd have Steph on the books for 50+, Jimmy in the books for 50+, and then Michael Porter Jr. on the books for pretty much $40 million a season. But the Warriors can get it done. And it wouldn't offload as much rotational players and rotational assets as you might think. I mean, think about this. The Warriors would get Michael Porter Jr. The Warriors would send away Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield, Moses Moody. Only one of those three guys, only one, is actually an active rotation contributor. And Moses Moody has been terrible lately. He's been bad. Makes $13 million. Buddy Hield makes $9. Kuminga makes $21. Right there, you get past the $40 million threshold, And the Warriors would be freeing up money by making this deal. The only issue is the reason I don't have the Brooklyn Nets receive right here, and also the Warriors have to throw in first-round picks. You guys have to take that into account. First-round picks, at least one, would be on the way to Brooklyn or wherever Golden State's going to send all these assets in this deal. But the reason I don't have Brooklyn Nets receive all this stuff right here is because we've heard over the summer, in the offseason, the Nets didn't really have much interest in Jonathan Kuminga. So would Golden State maybe have to get like a Sacramento involved where they send Kuminga over there and generate a first-round pick out of him, and then that extra additional pick goes to Brooklyn? Maybe. I mean, I feel like it would be difficult for Brooklyn to pass up 2 first-round picks for Michael Porter Jr., and then you get some nice rotational pieces, or at least piece, in Moses Moody for a couple of seasons more. But the one thing we know is they really don't have much Kuminga interest, so this would probably have to be expanded to a 3 or 4 team deal. Now, the Warriors may have some competition as well for MPJ. They got the Bulls listed as another suitor, Jake Fischer put in his kind of article there, talking about Porter getting traded. So the Bulls have assets, they have picks, they have contracts that make it possible for them to make a trade for Michael Porter Jr. So you got to watch out for them. There's probably going to be competition. I would argue that Michael Porter Jr. might be the most valuable asset that's getting floated around in trade talks at this point. With that being said, should the Warriors trade for him with all the assets that they have to give up? Not saying all this stuff goes to Brooklyn in a 1-for-1 trade, but this is what Golden State would be sending away to acquire Michael Porter Jr. Jonathan Kuminga, Buddy Hield, Moses Moody, and potentially multiple first-round picks. Should the Warriors trade for MPJ? T for trade, P for pass. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section, as that will do it for today's edition of Warriors Today by Chad Sports. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, youtube.com/WarriorsTV, because all the trade rumors that get covered surrounding your Golden State Warriors, you're going to find videos about it right here on the channel. So hit that sub button. We'll see you guys next time. And as always, let's go Dubs.